How do you deal with your partner's phone addiction? So lately I 25F have been noticing that my guy, 28 meters, spends all of his free time on his phone, even watching TV simultaneously. The only time he is not on his phone is when he's taking a shower. I on the other hand feel like I can't start a conversation when I see him staring at the screen. I don't see it as a genuine conversation or that he is present. This is a long-term relationship, 9 years, and has been this way always. And of course I tell him that it bothers me. I tell him often. How do you do it? Do you also use the phone as much as your partner? Do you have phone free time? Or maybe it doesn't bother you that much? Too long didn't read, absolutely all of his free time off of work he's glued to the screen. That's tough. I think it's easy for some people to get addicted to the stimulation that screens give. Some people have a very hard time sitting for more than a few minutes without going to their phone. When you use them too much, your brain gets accustomed to a high threshold of stimulation. Have you ever tried framing it in terms of how he's using his time? Personally, I get bummed out by the idea that I have spent countless hours doing mindless crap on my phone, and that thought has helped me to cut down and spend more time doing other things I enjoy. Another thought is, if there are any activities you two would typically do together, maybe ask for those to be phone-free times. Like if you go on a walk or play a board game or whatever else you might do, make it technology-free. Above all else, I would be sure to communicate that you feel when he's on his phone that it creates a barrier between you two, and explain that it doesn't feel like a genuine conversation or connection when he's not even looking at you. Once you start a conversation, does he put his phone down and listen? How does he react when you tell him that it bothers you? For many of my relationships, both platonic and romantic, people use the phone often, but there is an understanding that we are off the phone when we're in a conversation. EBH, I consider this to be a basic standard. It definitely bothers me if people use their phone while we're talking, and it's not something I will put up with. I personally consider it a form of respect. If I told them it bothers me and they still do it, I find it disrespectful and would probably start checking out of the relationship. My concern is that you told him often but he still does it, knowing that you don't like it. What does he say when you tell him it bothers you, or when you ask him to put his phone down when you're having a conversation? My usage has increased from 45 minutes 1 hour per day to 6 to 8 hours a day during quarantine. I mostly use my cell phone to distract myself from reality, toxic home environment. I scroll and scroll and scroll, all mindlessly. I never text anyone or rarely engage with content. Also use it to suppress my emotions. You sure your partner doesn't have any underlying reason to excessively use it? Start by asking for specific, narrow windows where he's not on the phone. Hey, while we're watching this show together, can we ignore our phones? I want to feel like we're sharing an experience. Or can we adopt a no phones at the table rule? Can you not just randomly check your phone when we're having a conversation? Those are reasonable asks. And in the medium term, if he agrees to them, I want to encourage you to let it go at other times. You don't want to approach this like, your phone addiction is a problem. You want to approach it positively. I want to create moments for the two of us. My girlfriend's 23F sister 11F died in a car accident last night. What do I do? I've never felt loss like this. I can't stop crying. She was such a sweet girl that I helped raise, and I feel like a piece of me is gone, and I'm trying so hard to be strong for my girlfriend, but I don't know what to do. My girlfriend watched her and raised her, but she's dealt with death her entire life and she seems to be handling it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who needs help. I just don't know. I feel so discombobulated and lost. I'm sorry if this is the wrong sub. I just need to know what to do. TL, doctor, need help to be strong for my so. Be patient with both your GF and yourself. Really intense feelings of pain will come and go. There will also be moments when you think of her and feel happy and / or at peace. Those moments may not come for a few days or weeks. Then the horrible feelings will come again. Losing someone really special just /s your brain and your emotion for a while. It may be a year before your GF starts to stabilize. Be very patient with her, and with yourself. Accept the feelings whenever and however they come. You may be at an engagement party and one of you may start bawling out of the blue. That's normal. Grief counseling is a great idea. Also, different people grieve in very different ways and on very different schedules. You may feel 90% back to normal in 6 months, and it may take your GF 18 months, or vice versa. At her memorial service you may feel at peace and your GF may be bawling, or vice versa. You may also experience periods of indifference when it doesn't feel like her death is affecting you one way or the other. Couples break up during grief sometimes because they don't realize their partner is also grieving, but not in the same way. Be very accepting of both of your feelings and very patient as the grief process works its way through. I am so very, very sorry for all of you. Best wishes. Keep hugging your girlfriend and keep saying I love you and I'm here for you. All you really can do for someone in this situation is to be there. Don't try to talk her down from her feelings or minimize them or tell her it will be better in time. That's true but very unhelpful. Stick with I love you and I'm here for you. I'm so sorry for the loss both of you are experiencing. That is a devastating experience. The best advice I can give you is to read up on the ring theory of grief and find people other than your girlfriend to lean on for the support you need so you can provide her with the support she needs. Your girlfriend may seem to be handling it well now, but it's also possible she's in shock, or that she's focusing on the details/logistics and will fall apart once she has to get back to real life without her sister there. Please be gentle with yourself and maybe consider looking into a grief support group for both of you. Thank you for the suggestion. I stopped reading books, and she loved to read, so I'm going to read every damn book I put my eye on. I'll start with this one. We're going to go to grief counseling. Thank you. I'm so sorry for your loss. It's unfair and awful. Keep checking in with your girlfriend and let her know that you want to be there for her in any way she needs. I doubt that she's handling it exactly, just that she's reacting to it differently. Her grief will show in different ways and different times than yours. One way you may be able to help is to offer to take on some of the work of letting people know and or taking on some logistical tasks for the funeral/wake/shivas/however the family wants to handle it. Also, please call a friend or two of your own. You deserve to be supported too. Pain sucks. Sadness sucks. Unfortunately you will carry both for a long time. Sometimes things are not fair. Sometimes life is not fair. Things don't make sense. There will be days when you're going to have to find even a smidgen of strength to make it through the day. The good news is time heals wounds and you have your girlfriend to mourn with. Hopefully you can build a solid foundation together to grow together through tragedy. I'll get downvoted for this last part, but if you believe in God, I suggest speaking with a pastor to unanswered questions you have, and as frequently as you feel the need to deal with your pain. Life is not fair. She was the last person who would ever possibly deserve something like this. I didn't before, but I believe now. She has to be somewhere nice, or none of this is worth it. She has to be somewhere that was as kind and boat today I fucked up as she is. My brain immediately goes to Gandalf describing what comes after death to Pippin. I hope she is on those shores, and I hope she is watching that boat today I fucked up sunrise. I have to believe that. Be there. That's the most important thing you can do. If you notice the place looking a bit untidy, clean up for her. Make some easy batch meals that can be frozen to just shove in the microwave. If she wants to sit in silence, you sit in silence together. She wants to cry, you cry together. I've been in a very similar position to your GF. Honestly, be there when she wants you. Be invisible but reachable when she needs a moment of space to wrap her head around things. And don't be afraid to joke with her like you did before this happened. Some normality will really help stabilize the situation. Also remember you're going through this too, so don't be afraid to show emotions. Be strong doesn't mean don't cry, it means don't give up. Adding on to this, don't be ashamed/afraid to let your friends and family help you guys. If people offer to bring you food or have a meal delivered, let them. If you guys are struggling to keep up with laundry and someone nearby asks what they can do to help, ask if they will run a few loads. Partner repeatedly putting our child in danger. Hi everyone, I'm F/28. My partner is M/36. We have a 4-year-old daughter together. We've been together for 7 years now. I have so much to say here, but I'm going to try keep it short as possible. Him and I are still together, but we live separately and a long distance away. Our daughter lives with me and sees him once a week for a day, sometimes twice a week. My partner has autism. This has been diagnosed when he was younger. He works, but his work life has had to be tweaked to his ability. He struggles terribly with social situations and especially seeing a cause and effect of something. He can't grasp how X thing leads to Y thing, or why someone may have got offended by something he's said, etc. I've always understood those issues and it's never really been a problem. But then we had a failed contraception and I had our daughter, so now I have plenty more opportunities to see how much he really does struggle. He tries really hard, and all in all, he's a great father. They have a great bond together. However, because of his autism, and maybe other issues, he is extremely dangerous around her. I could be here forever listing all the things, but just a few. He's left her completely on her own in a play center aged 3 while he walked back to his car to fetch something that was unimportant and could have waited, and was gone for 20 minutes. The staff there were running around trying to find him and calling him over the intercom. He's tried to send her back home on her own in a taxi because he was running late and didn't want to do the journey here to drop her off. Again aged 3. He's gave her a rancid yogurt that made her sick because he didn't understand that an opened yogurt that's been left out in a boiling car for 4 days will go off. She threw up while in her car seat once, so he decided to take her out of it, put it in the back of the car and just drove around while trying to hold her in the standard seat with his arm, because he didn't want her sitting in her sick. Aged 1.5. I went insane over this and he said I was making a big deal over nothing because he's a safe driver. I caught her recently playing with a carving knife that he'd left right on the edge of the table while being oblivious to it. It just goes on and it's endless. I understand that he can't help it and he's not doing it intentionally, but it doesn't make the situation any easier because I don't know what to do for the best. I feel like I always have to be around to monitor him, and our daughter says often how she just wants some time with him and to go whatever particular place with him. It's really affecting us all and I'm at a loss what to say anymore or where to go from here. I'm completely overwhelmed trying to care for a 4-year-old, my disabled mom, my partner and myself. TL doctor, partner/child's father has autism and perhaps other things which are putting our daughters safely at risk and seriously affecting our relationship. He cannot have the child unsupervised. You know this. If something happens to her, protective services will be called in and you will have larger problems. Do not risk your low because he can't make the safe decisions for her. It doesn't really matter if it's intentional. Your partner is a danger to your child. Your child's safety takes precedence over your partner's feelings. Hi, could you maybe hire a sitter to be with them during their visits? Are you unable to live together right now? Do you see this relationship continuing much longer? Even though it isn't his fault, obviously your daughter's safety has to come first. Being alone with her father isn't safe. I hope you're able to find a way to work this out so they can have a good relationship throughout her life. Anything and everything about your relationship with this man, put it all aside for now. All of it is a distant second to your child's requirements for safety and welfare. This man is incapable of taking care of a child and cannot be left alone with her for any reason, ever again. You are going to have to be, essentially, a single parent to her. Whilst it sounds to me like she is safe with him if he is supervised the entire time by another adult, that is the extent that he can be allowed to shoulder any responsibility for her. You sound overwhelmed by your current responsibilities, but that does not change this reality. I would reach out to your local resources for help. If you have to, just key in your questions on Google "need help with childcare" etc. and search for resources in your area.